Hi, my name is Jocelyn Bell. I am currently a sophomore here at Kansas State University studying pre-veterinary medicine and animal science. And this is my report. For my report, I did nonverbal cues and their direct correlation to mental health, more specifically, their direct correlation to depression within veterinary medicine. If any of you have ever read my discussion posts or seen my other projects, I am studying veterinary medicine. I plan of applying to vet school. And I actually have worked in a veterinary clinic for some time. I work at a doggy daycare now. Um, but but even working there, I still see burnout like no other. It's a very stressful job. A lot of people don't think it would be, but I definitely saw a lot of people that were amazing at their job just get burnt out and fall to the negative effects of depression because they just mentally couldn't take it anymore. It was exhausting. Um, Throughout my report, I'm obviously going to have more statistics regarding veterinary medicine and certain events and aspects of veterinary medicine that can lead to depression. Um, However, at the beginning of my report, the middle of my report and the end of my report, I'm going to go over nonverbal cues related to depression or psychological distress for any career, any person at any time, because this is something that affects anybody and can affect anybody. This isn't just limited to veterinary medicine. I just specifically chose vet med because that's what I'm going into. That's what I know most about. Um, so yeah. So an estimated 60 to 65% of interpersonal communication is conveyed via nonverbal behaviors. Um, this essentially means that someone could be showing you all the signs to having some sort of distress or having some sort of depression or burnout, and you wouldn't even notice. Um, as a society, we do not do a great job at teaching these nonverbal behaviors. In recent years, we have come a long way at advocating for mental health. However, we can't advocate for mental health and say that we're here to help if we don't know where to start. So I'm not sure if you can see my mouse, but down here, this is all given by the National Library of Medicine, which is a really great source. They have a bunch of studies. I really recommend looking there for any questions that you guys have. But these are going to be the top nonverbal cues directly related to depression. This is going to include reduced and positive reduced positive expressions, increased negative expressions, decreased intense expressions, poor social function, reduced emotional reactivity, reduced facial expressions and head movement, kind of that blank stare, and the list goes on. Like I said, those top cues are crucial to know. And I know it doesn't sound like a huge deal because anyone could be showing these at any time, and that doesn't mean that they're necessarily depressed or burnt out or have some psychological issue. However, if you do show more than one of these nonverbal cues, it could have some correlation to your mental health. Ultimately, the goal of this project is to, I don't want to say save a life, but save a life, because if we aren't paying attention to our coworkers, our friends, our loved ones close enough, they may fall to the effects of depression and commit suicide. And that's really sad and it sucks, but it's more common than most people think. And it's something that we need to do as a society to help prevent. Um, like I said, throughout my paper, I'm going to go over ways that this affects everyone. So again, I'm not sure if you can see my mouse, but over here, this is all given by the Mayo Clinic. This is every single way that we can help for depression or burnout. I put it into two different categories because burnout, technically by book, is not considered depression. However, burnout can lead to depression. So I went ahead and I split it into two different columns. This is all given by the Mayo Clinic. I don't want to say there's scripts on there, but there are kind of like outlines and basis of what you could say if you think that a loved one, a coworker, a friend, whoever is suffering from depression. There's a bunch of emails, phone numbers, everything like that on there. But it kind of gives you a step by step on what you should do to help that person. And again, at the end, I'm going to go over all those cues and why they are so important. Um, because overlooking cues can inevitably lead to suicide. And I know that sounds a bit extreme, but if we keep ignoring all of these cues, it's something that could happen. And I feel like today, even though we advocate for mental health so much, we don't actually realize the negative effects of just ignoring something. Um, because like I said earlier, we advocate so much, but we're doing nothing to actually look for the cues that are right in front of our faces, pointing to someone struggling. Um, thus highlighting the importance of this entire project. I know this project may sound stupid to some people, because they're not very big into mental health, but I firsthand have seen the effects of depression and burnout. And like I said at the beginning of this video, there have been amazing coworkers that I've had that just mentally couldn't take it anymore. And this affects everyone, not just veterinary medicine. So I really think as a society, as a college, because I know that there are college students out there struggling. I mean, especially those veterinary students. Obviously from my report, I'd know that because the statistics were actually taken from the Kansas State University Veterinary School. Um, but it is so important that we actually learn these. I think it would be really great if we added this into more classes just because some of these cues I didn't even know had any correlation to depression whatsoever. Yeah, that is my report.